My name is Sebastien. I'm a producer, an executive producer, and co-founder at a production company called Boldly. So today I'm going to dive into a couple of projects of ours, ones that I've been super involved with at our company Boldly. One is a music video for Amanda Sum, Different Than Before, and another one is a commercial for Mitsubishi Outlander that we shot in 2025. Okay, so one thing that I find particularly interesting about this project from a producing standpoint is the location that we're in. At the beginning of this project, we were really considering shooting in a real dim sum restaurant in Vancouver or Richmond. And if you've ever been to one, you know that they're busy all the time and they're also open all the time. So the first thing that comes to mind for me when I'm seeing something like this as a producer is that I go, okay, well, how are we gonna... one thing that was really important to us was picking a location to shoot in. And so we scouted a bunch of dim sum restaurants in Vancouver and Richmond, which were all amazing and wonderful humans to work with. But we kind of realized that it'd be really difficult for us to sort of invade their space, and there was audio considerations, and we had a bunch of sets and crew that we had to get in there. And so we were thinking about, well, maybe we take a corner or a table, and none of those ideas quite made sense. So we scratched our heads a little bit, and one idea that I had was to basically rent a banquet hall. This was in the middle of COVID, and all these banquet halls were really struggling at the time. So we went to scout a banquet hall that was large enough to host our restaurant, and we just kind of dressed the background of the set to make it feel a little more like a dim sum restaurant. We had the wonderful support of one of the dim sum restaurants who lent us one of their real push carts, and they also made all of the food for us. So the food that you see on screen for this film is all authentic. But we're actually just in a banquet hall, and off of the sides of the screen, there's really basically nothing. We set up a couple of tables in front, and there's a lot of empty space around the camera edges. Another thing that was really helpful for this location was that we had enough extra space that we could do things like build 3 other sets that we needed to have. So on the reverse of this, we built a stage like this. There's a wide shot. We also built, later in the video, you'll see like a kind of La La Land-esque starry nightscape stage area. And then we also did some other like cool smoky stuff with haze. None of that would have been possible within a dim sum restaurant. So the lesson of this story, I guess, is that you kind of want to think a little bit more outside of the box in terms of locations sometimes. And that was fully a logistics idea that came to the director, and then we all bought into it. And we even got the benefit of having a second level of that banquet hall that we could shine lights down through, and that was really nice. One thing I want to point out about a project like this is that we got to work with some incredible talent like Olivia Chang, who is right here, and also Tai Ma, who is like one of the heroes of cinema. I first remember seeing Tai in a little movie called Rush Hour, which was such a cool film. And to get to work with Tai was a pleasure, such a gentle human, and yeah, just passionate about the work. On that note as well, I'll add that the story of this music video is such a meaningful story for a lot of people in the Asian community, and we released it during Asian History Month. Making this film was a lot of support from that community, and so we had a lot of volunteers on the set, myself included, and I'm super grateful that I get to work with a team like Jeff, Shelby, and Christoph at Boldly, who allowed me to take the time away from other duties to be able to produce this project at no cost, essentially. The support of the community on a project like this meant a lot because we had a lot of in-kind donations and that sort of thing. So don't underestimate the power of the people around you. Okay, so we're in a banquet hall and we have a crew of about 70. We were filming this over the course of about 2 days, and we have a lot of scenes to get through. As a producer, part of your logistical problem is getting all of the gear there, getting all of the crew there, making sure that there's enough infrastructure within that place to support the film happening. You also have to feed everybody lunch. We shot here for 2 days, and then you have to kind of help the director get all of their vision across. Part of how we did this was, well, to be honest, on a music video budget, it was kind of just like me and an assistant on the production side, and I was also location managing, and I was also ADing sometimes. But on a project like this, you kind of just have to have all of your lists and checklists and spreadsheets and just plan. When it comes to asking for favors on things like gear and locations, more time is your friend. That helps you to have early conversations and say, hey, look, this is what we're trying to do. This project is meaningful because of these reasons, or we're trying to support this cause. So can we work towards picking a date that we can film at that doesn't impact you as much, and maybe you can give us a discount? Or maybe some vendors want to come in on a sponsorship or what have you. A lot of producers begin their life as a PA, and that involves driving people around and driving trucks around, assisting with things that seem a little bit mundane like coffee and tea, but at the same time, what that does give you is an opportunity to hear and overhear the conversations that are happening by the people above you. And in doing that, which is how I came up as a producer, I was able to really understand what kinds of things they're looking out for during pre-production. With that in mind, on this project, we brought our key crew in, our DP, our production designer. They could take all of the measurements that they needed and make their gear lists appropriately. And then when we had those gear lists, we went to talk to all the vendors and saw who could support and who had the equipment that we needed. And then I just got in the truck one day and went and picked everything up. It's as simple as that. The location was also really helpful in that they let us keep everything locked in there overnight. So in doing that, we didn't have to worry about storing everything off-site, coming back, setting up the next day, and we call that a walk away. So that was really nice to be able to come in on day 2 and just get right back into shooting, as opposed to having to build the set again or set up the camera again. But don't forget to hire a security guard, because that's important. Insurance is a great segue from that one too. It's all the boring stuff I get to talk about, but as a producer, you learn to read a lot of insurance papers and you learn to read a lot of contracts. Those are your 2 best friends, unfortunately, when it comes to producing. But wait, what's the exciting stuff about producing? It's not insurance and contracts, surely. Well, actually, the exciting stuff is you get to kind of make something out of nothing. You know, you have a script that's given to you, you have gear lists that are given to you, and you have a creative vision that's given to you. Your job is to like kind of chop all that up and put it together into a puzzle that works. So there is some creativity involved in that, and also budgeting is one creative art, in my opinion. So coming back to our talent on this one, we had a really awesome cast that have a ton of experience in Hollywood and in big TV shows like Man in the High Castle, Kung Fu, and certain great Hollywood movies as well. Working with that caliber of talent means that you really need to step up your game in terms of preparing your schedule as a producer. So one thing that we did on this project, which was pretty unique for a music video, is that we had a rehearsal day and we had a couple of Zoom calls with our talent to talk about, here's the script, here are the lines, here's the story, here's what we're trying to do, here's the tone of the piece, here are some references that the director really has in mind for it. And as a producer, you kind of want to anticipate, okay, this is a really emotional and heartfelt story, so let's spend some time in the upfront to get everyone in a room to talk about that, so that we're not trying to figure it out on the day. A lot of producing is, how do you use the time that you have in order to not have to like figure it out on the day? So rehearsals is a great way to do that for talent. A tech scout is a great way to do that for key crew, location scouts, director scouts. The earlier you can do that with your director or even your DP or your production designer, the better, because they can kind of come back to the table for your pre-production meeting with all of their ideas ready to go. So in this case, with Ty, we had a really good call with all the actors, and we talked about each scene, what it meant, how to play the characters, how to banter, and we just did a run through of all the lines. And we even had really great input from the actors to say like, well, actually, I thought about this. What about changing this line this way so that it has this extra ring or this extra impact to it? And you see that in the final film. Here's one of the other sets that we built. This is all still in the banquet hall, by the way. We built a stage setup. We also built our, this other one here. These are all next to each other in this banquet hall. So great use of space. We paid 1 rental for it, and we got 4 locations out of it. Also, the dancing was just kind of made up on the day. So in closing, for a project like Different Than Before, I think what I take away from it, as one of my favorite projects to have produced, is that you can always rely on a really good idea, a good story to bring a team together. You don't need to have a lot of money, although it's nice to be able to pay people back for the favors that they do for you. In this case, so many people came out to the project because they really cared about the idea and saw that it had a life beyond just a music video. And in fact, it did. And when we did take the film out to festivals and to awards, people really recognized it. It also got a Vimeo staff pick, and that was really important during Asian Heritage Month to raise some of that awareness, because even at that time in 2022 in Vancouver, it was like only weeks after a man was like brutally attacked just because he was Asian. So we do really want to do work that has impact, and when you can bring a community together, it makes it all worth it.